The views and opinions expressed in this content are that of a continuously evolving nature and are subject to change as humanity evolves into higher states of awareness.
Hi everyone, Lee here again, coming to you live from the northeast of England again. And I'll tell you what the universe tells me. And in this video I want to talk a little bit about social media and how destructive it is at the moment for humanity. And the reason I think it's destructive is because it's now controlled to a point where it's not allowing people's freedom. Now, social media was originally set up for freedom for everyone, so they can share what they're doing to everyone, so there can be like a big massive connection across the world, and it does do this to an extent, but I don't know if any of you guys have noticed that it's now very limited. Whatever you put on there is very limited to who sees your content. Now, if anyone remembers when social media first came out, things like MySpace, Face Party, things like that. On MySpace there was a bulletin option, okay, and on that bulletin option you would post a bulletin of whatever you want, and that bulletin would go to all your friends in your list, okay. Every single person in your friends list would see that bulletin. Whereas now there's no option for this with Facebook. You see, whatever you post now, only about 5 people will probably see it, because it only shows whoever you talk to the most. Now, Facebook would say, well, this is because we're trying to connect people's friends, but in reality that's disconnecting everybody, and it's showing everybody a limited view of what's really happening out there in the world, okay. So now everybody's got this little circle of small amount of friends, and they can never extend that because they can't see what other people are doing. It's the same with YouTube. YouTube's the same at the moment. Whatever you post on there, only a certain amount of people will see it. When you go on YouTube, you'll see that all your interests, all your videos will show that you're interested in, that you've searched for in the last, say, 4 weeks. That's all you see. So when I go in there, all I see is kind of spiritual videos, new age, not new age, more esoteric videos, because that's what I've searched for. But in reality, there's much more going on in the world, you see. So when I go on YouTube, it's easy to get a false sense of, well, the world's waking up now, because that's everywhere. I can see it everywhere. The world's waking up. There's spiritual videos here, esoteric videos there. So the world's waking up and everybody's like me. But in reality, that's nothing further from the truth, you see, because next door, Joe Bloggs could be into sport or football, and all he sees is sports videos, you see. So he thinks, oh, well, the world's into sport. Everybody in the world loves sport. But in reality, that's not the case, you see. So it's separating people rather than connecting people now. And I think the social media groups are doing this on purpose, because they've got an agenda and they want to be able to push things onto people based on their interests, you see. So if they're interested in something, they can then push adverts on them based on that interest, and they can make more money that way. Plus, there's the fact that if everybody sees everything in the world, people would wake up more. And the last thing these social media sites want is people waking up. Because if they woke up, they would see the manipulation behind it. They would see how it's blocking people from being out there in the world. Poppy, come here! Come here! Sorry. Poppy sometimes walks off and I've got to shout her to come back. But yeah, you can see how it's kind of separating us instead of bringing us together. But they've got this false sense of bringing us together, which they manipulate us by. And the control aspect of Facebook and YouTube is getting pretty bad at the moment, because nobody realizes what's out there, okay. People don't realize there's other ways of life, there's new things to discover, because they're all stuck in this little circle of their own interests, thinking that's reality. And in reality, it's just blocking people from getting out there and meeting new friends, you see. I don't know if anyone else has noticed on Facebook now, if you get a friend request or if you send a friend request to someone, say someone random who might have the few same interests as you, instead of just accepting that friend request and thinking, oh, who's this? I'll get to know them a little bit. Now people are like, well, who's this? Why are they sending me a friend request? I don't even know them, you see. So Facebook's done this to people very, very cleverly, okay? It's took over many, many things. I remember when we used to have messaging system on the phones called messages, text messages. Facebook took over that by creating an app called Messenger because it knew that people would use that instead of text messaging. And it's partly the phone people's fault for charging for text messages, etc., and not allowing you to send picture messages for free, things like that. But still, it's a very bad control aspect because Facebook's now limiting people from expanding the consciousness. And the same with YouTube, it's limiting people from expanding the consciousness. And people don't know what's out there anymore, okay? People don't have the opportunity to see new things. So that's my view on social media at the moment. And I think what's going to happen, don't quote us on this, but what's going to happen is something's going to happen with social media that's happening with money at the moment. And that's the idea of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin cannot be controlled by banks, etc., which is what's so good about things like Bitcoin. It's controlled by you only. Nobody can take control of it because it's impossible. And I think at some point we're going to get a social media system like that when people start to wake up, because you have to remember these companies like Facebook and YouTube, etc., they're going to get karma for what they're doing, okay? They cannot control people forever because eventually we're going to realize and we're going to fight against that, okay? This is the law of karma. Anything that's done that's not out of love and the best interest for humanity and their evolution always comes back and bites them. So just like MySpace, they started to control things a little bit, and then they got took over by Facebook. But Facebook's going to eventually get took over by something else, which is going to be a little bit like a social media version of Bitcoin, where there's less control, and people have got more power to put themselves out there. Like myself, if I make a video now on Facebook, it's lucky to get probably 5 likes or maybe 50 views, okay? And I've got probably 4,000 friends on there. It's lucky to get 50 views. And this is what they're doing to people. They're just blocking people from getting themselves out there. And even if you do see posts you don't want from one of your friends, you can just easily block them, you see. So there's no reason for social media sites to do this apart from their own agenda. So that's my view on that, guys. What do you think? Do you think social media is becoming a control system rather than a good thing? It's starting to become a bad thing. Please leave your comments. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll tell you what the universe tells me, guys. And I'm off now. So have a nice day. Thanks for listening today. I'll be back soon with another video.